Okay, let's unpack this. If you've ever wrestled with connecting multiple screens and devices, maybe wished you could send, like, the big game to every TV in the house with perfect clarity, well, then today's deep dive is definitely for you.
Mm-hmm.
We're pulling back the curtain on, I guess, a truly unsung hero of high-definition audio and video, the WolfPack 1080p 8x8 HDMI Matrix Switch.
Right. Sounds technical, I know.
It does. But our mission here is to kind of demystify it, cut through the specs, and really get at the ingenious problems it solves and, how it delivers such a pristine signal.
Yeah, you're basically going to get an insider's view into the central nervous system of these complex AV setups.
Exactly.
And what's really compelling, I think, is how this one piece of hardware just orchestrates this seamless experience. It transforms what could be a total mess of cables, compatibility issues.
Oh, I know that mess.
Right, into something remarkable efficient. So we're going to dive into the engineering that makes this sort of aha moments possible for your home or maybe your business.
Good. Because understanding this is kind of a shortcut to really appreciating modern AV distribution, isn't it?
It really is.
Okay, so let's start right there with the name. 8x8 HDMI Matrix Switch. Sounds, I don't know, pretty heavy duty, like something for a broadcast studio.
It does have that feel, yeah.
Is it really that robust and versatile for, say, a typical home or a small business? Or are there kind of hidden complexities for the average user?
That's a great question because while it definitely offers that pro-level flexibility, the design is actually surprisingly user-friendly.
Okay.
So at its core, 8x8 HDMI Matrix Switch just means you have 8 HDMI sources, think Blu-ray players, game consoles, streamers, cable boxes, whatever.
Right, 8 inputs.
8 inputs. And 8 displays, TVs, projectors, 8 outputs.
Got it.
Now, the matrix part, that's where the magic happens. It's like a central command center. It lets you route any of those 8 inputs to any of the 8 outputs. So, yeah, you could send one source to one screen, fine. Or send the same source to all 8 screens at once.
Okay.
Like for a sports bar or something.
Exactly. Or maybe create unique combinations, like you're gaming in the living room, kids are watching a movie in the playroom, all from the same box. It gives you literally thousands of input and output combinations. So incredible flexibility. Home theaters, commercial spaces, you name it.
Okay. And is this a specific model we're talking about?
Yeah, for context, this specific one is the HDTV HM808. It's from a company called HDTV Supply. They've actually been doing this AV stuff for about 24 years.
Okay, solid background then. So that flexibility is impressive. But, what about distance? I've always wondered how pros manage these sprawling setups without signal loss.
Right.
Standard HDMI cables, they have pretty strict length limits, don't they, before the signal just degrades.
Right.
How does the system get around that? That seems like a major hurdle.
It is a major hurdle, and this is where the really clever part comes in, the combination of Canty-6 cable and these things called HDMI balloons.
Balloons, okay. Yeah. So, you see, this system doesn't just rely on running long HDMI cables everywhere. That wouldn't work well.
Right.
Instead, it uses 8 separate HDMI balloon sets. There's a transmitter part and a receiver part for each display you want to connect.
Okay, a pair for each screen.
Exactly. And these balloons, they convert the HDMI signal so it can run over a single, pretty inexpensive CT6 Ethernet cable, like the kind you use for networking.
Okay. So you're using network cable for video.
Precisely. And that extends your reach dramatically. You can send pristine 1080p signals up to like 150 feet away using this method.
150 feet. That's a lot more than standard HDMI.
Oh, way more. And what's even smarter about these particular balloons is they feature something called power over cable, or POC.
Power over cable. What's that?
It means you only need to plug in one power adapter right at the main matrix switch unit. The power for the little receiver box at the TV end, it travels over that same CT6 cable.
No way. So you don't need a power outlet right by the TV for the receiver.
Nope. It massively simplifies the installation. Less cable clutter, fewer things to plug in. It's really neat.
That is neat.
And these balloons also have some other handy features like user-adjustable EDID. We should definitely talk more about EDID later.
Yeah, let's circle back to that.
An HDMI loop out on the transmitter, which is useful, and they come with mounting plates. So pretty seamless install.
That is a huge strategic advantage then. It means you're really not limited by short cable runs or needing outlets everywhere. You get so much more freedom in where you place your screens.
Exactly. Turns almost any space into a potential viewing area.
But, okay, freedom of placement is great, but it's only half the battle, right? What's the point if the signal looks terrible when it gets there? I remember troubleshooting this nightmare setup once. Blinking screen drove me nuts.
Oh, yeah, the worst.
Is that the kind of maddening problem this whole signal regeneration thing actually fixes? Obliterates even.
Absolutely. Those intermittent issues, flashing screens, drop signals, what we sometimes call ghosts in the machine. This system basically performs an exorcism on those problems. It's designed not just to transmit, but to actively regenerate the signal.
Regenerate? How?
So every signal passing through this WolfPack switch, it gets retimed, the level's compensated, any phase error is corrected, and crucially, any data jitter is eliminated.
Jitter. Like timing inconsistencies.
Exactly. Tiny timing errors that can mess up the picture or sound. This cleans all that up. The result is, effectively, a brand new, perfect HDMI signal at every single output, just as clean as when it left the source device.
Wow. Okay.
So technically speaking, this means it fully supports 1080p resolution. It's HDMI and HDCP 1.4 compliant. Supports deep color for those really vibrant images, 48, 36, 30, 24-bit. Handles 2D and 3D.
The whole 9 yards.
Pretty much. And on the audio side, equally robust. Uncompressed 7.1 channel digital audio, LPCM 7.1, Dolby True HD, DTS HD master audio, all that good stuff.
So no compromise on sound either.
None. What this really means for you, the viewer, is you're getting the exact visual and audio fidelity the creators intended, from the deepest blacks to the most subtle sound effects. No loss, even across multiple screens. It's about preserving that artistic integrity.
Right. Okay, so we've got this incredibly powerful box, distributes perfect signals, sends them really far. But how do you control it? A powerful system needs powerful but still easy control, right? You don't want to be fiddling with tiny buttons on the unit itself all the time.
No, definitely not. And the control flexibility here is, I think, a key differentiator. It makes a complex system feel, well, intuitive.
Yeah.
You're not stuck with just one method. You've got a Web GUI, basically a simple control panel in your web browser. Access it from any device on your network.
Okay, well, like on a laptop.
Yeah, or a tablet. Then there are free iOS and Android apps, super intuitive for everyday use on your phone or tablet.
Apps are always good?
Yeah. For more traditional control, there's an IR remote included. And then for the really advanced setups, like integration into big smart home systems.
Like Crestron or Control 4.
Exactly. You've got RS-232 and Ethernet control ports, and there are optional drivers available for Crestron, Elon, and Control 4. Makes integration smooth for installers.
That sounds really comprehensive, from simple apps right up to full pro integration. But like, give me an example. How does this advanced control really make a difference day to day? What's a cool scenario?
Okay, a perfect example is the DirecTV control options some configurations offer.
DirecTV specifically?
Yeah, so imagine you have multiple DirecTV receivers plugged into the matrix. With this system, you can send any of those receivers to any of your TVs. Mix and match however you want.
Okay.
But here's the cool part. You can actually change the channel on any of those DirecTV boxes right from your iPad app.
Really? Control the satellite box through the matrix?
Yeah. And you can even see a little live video window on your iPad showing what's currently playing on that DirecTV channel before you send it to a big screen.
Whoa, that's slick.
It is. Or my favorite for, say, game day, put the same game on multiple TVs, perfectly synced up with just one tap on your tablet.
Okay, that is cool. One tap for multi-screen sports.
Right. And beyond that specific feature, it also has 10 configuration scene-saving settings. So you can preset specific routing setups like a movie night scene, a game day scene, maybe a presentation scene for an office.
And recall them instantly.
Instantly. One button press and boom, everything switches to your preferred setup. Saves a lot of fiddling.
That's incredibly useful, especially for places like sports bars or even just complex home setups. Okay, now, let's circle back. You mentioned EDID earlier.
Ah, yes, EDID, the silent saboteur.
It sounds super technical, but you said it's important. It's like a digital handshake between the source and the screen. Why does that sometimes go wrong? Why would a display just not show video or maybe have no audio? And how does this matrix fix that headache?
Right. This is such a critical but often overlooked issue in multi-display setups. EDID stands for Extended Display Identification Data. Basically, it's how a display tells a source device, like your Blu-ray player, what its capabilities are, what resolutions it supports, what audio formats, etc.
Okay, the handshake.
Exactly. Now, the challenge comes when you have multiple displays connected through a matrix. The source device tries to be smart. It asks all the connected displays, hey, what can you guys handle? And then often it decides to output the lowest common denominator. the signal format that it thinks every single display can understand, even if that means crippling the output for your best screens.
Ah. So my fancy 4K TV might only get a 720p stereo signal just because there's an older, crummier screen somewhere else in the system.
It's incredibly frustrating. Your system defaults to the weakest link. This matrix tackles that head-on with its EDID learning function.
So how does that work?
If a display is misbehaving, no picture, wrong resolution, no sound, you can tell the matrix to essentially ignore the problematic EDID information from that display. You can force it to learn and mimic the EDID from a specific display that you know works well.
So you pick a reliable screen and tell the matrix, pretend all screens are like this one.
Sort of, yeah. Or, even better, it has 15 internal pre-configured EDID settings built right in. Often, selecting one of the safer internal options, like maybe a standard 1080p stereo or even 720p stereo setting, forces the source device to send out a signal that all the connected displays are guaranteed to understand and play properly.
So it prioritizes getting something displayed everywhere, even if it's not the absolute max capability of every single screen.
In those troubleshooting scenarios, yes, it prioritizes compatibility and reliability across the whole system. It stops the source getting confused and sending out something that breaks the picture on some screens, and its overall EDID support is really robust. 23 different EDID formats it can manage, including learning from outputs and those 15 internal ones. It's the key to making diverse displays actually play nicely together.
That's a really clever solution to a super common and really annoying problem. Okay, so it's technically brilliant, but what about just practically? Fitting it into a setup, is it noisy, big and bulky, hard to install?
No, actually, from a practical standpoint, it's designed pretty thoughtfully. It's a standard 1U rack size. That means it's fairly slim, takes up just 1 unit of space in an AV rack.
Okay, standard size.
Yeah, and it comes with the rack mount ear, so installation in a rack is easy. But crucially, it has no fan.
No fan, really?
No fan. It runs completely silent, which is huge, right? You can put this in a living room cabinet, an office, a bedroom closet, AV setup, whatever, no annoying fan noise.
That is a big deal. Fan noise can be really distracting.
Totally. Connectivity-wise, you've got the 8 HDMI inputs on the back, the 8 HDMI outputs, plus the RS-232 and Ethernet ports for control that we mentioned. Pretty straightforward.
And it's built tough.
Seems like it. It has a decent operating temperature range, 0 to 40 Celsius, which is about 32 to 104 Fahrenheit. So it should be reliable in most normal indoor environments.
So basically, it's built to be convenient, quiet, efficient, slides into a rack easily, installs in minutes, doesn't make noise. Got it.
Pretty much, yeah. Designed for real-world use.
Okay, so let's pull this all together. What does this actually mean for you, the listener? We've kind of peeled back the layers on what might seem like a really complex piece of tech, this WolfPack 8x8 matrix. You now know it's not just a simple switcher. It's more like the central nervous system for all your HD sources and screens. It makes sure you get perfect picture and sound, even over really long distances using Key T6. It gives you incredible control.
Yeah, the app control, the scenes.
Right. And it even solves those super annoying compatibility problems with that clever EDID management.
Yeah, it really ties the whole system together reliably. And if you zoom out, look at the bigger picture. It's clear that this whole quest for a perfect, flexible AV experience, it's a serious engineering challenge.
For sure.
And diving into a specific piece of hardware like this really highlights the complexity, the ingenuity that's hidden inside the systems we use every day, often without a second thought, right?
Yeah, we just expect it to work.
We do. So hopefully this encourages a bit of critical thinking about what's happening behind the screen, making that seamless experience possible.
Okay, so final thought then. Something provocative for people to chew on.
All right. So as devices like this make these multi-screen, multi-source setups easier and easier to manage, how might that shape the future of how we watch things? Are we moving more towards shared viewing experiences, like everyone watching the same thing perfectly synced across a venue? Or does it enable more personal, individualized content even within the same space?
Interesting tension there. Shared versus personal.
Right. And what new design possibilities does this kind of technology open up for how we actually design our homes, our offices, our public venues, now that distributing high-quality AV anywhere is becoming, well, relatively straightforward?
Food for thought indeed. How will this tech change the spaces we live and gather in? Great place